Hey, real estaters, you can stream every episode of The Industrialist on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube. Prime members can enjoy ad-free listening on Amazon Music.
All righty, real estaters. We got a little bit of a pivot here this week. Jeremy is out on spring break, so if you call him, he might not answer. He might be a couple of vegetables deep in the Smoky Mountains. But Jeff and I have a special guest this week. Special guest, do you want to?
I'm super special, yes. Hey guys, it's Isabella.
Isabella Ling is here with us. So we're in week 12, and Bella's going to kick us off with the availabilities we've got here on Matador.
So properties that we have available for lease are 3450 Bethlehem in Fort Worth. It's 26,787 square feet on 3.41 acres. And you can reach out to Todd Hubbard and David Gwynn. Then we have 1230 South J. Elmer Turner Freeway in Cedar Hill, 11,100 square feet. It's 10 gross acres, 7 paved. And you can reach out to Jeremy, Kyleb, Howell, and Cole Bruton at Mercer Company. Then we have 1724 Parkside Avenue in Irving, 50,125 square feet total on 1.9 acres. There's various spaces for lease, and you can reach out to Jack Mercer at Mercer Company there. Or if you're interested in purchasing the property, you can reach out to Chase Miller with NAI. Then we have 2915 South Zarzamora in San Antonio, Texas, which is a total of 99,825 square feet. And we currently have about 11-ish thousand square feet available spread across the entire park. And you can reach out to Lano Realty out of San Antonio, and Jake Esparza is there. Then we have 4415 Dividend Drive in San Antonio, 15,494 square feet on 1.41 acres. You can also reach out to Lano Realty to check out that property. And then we have 400 Glade Avenue in OKC, which is available for sale or lease. We currently have 400 Glade specifically available for lease, which is about 12,000 square feet. And you can reach out to Tucker Kaysen and Caden Gefeller at Mercer Company, or each of the buildings are individually parceled. So if you're interested or have anybody who wants to be an owner user of one of those spaces, reach out to them to purchase that. And then last but certainly not least, we have 925 Slocum Street in Dallas, Texas, which is 16,000 square feet. And you can reach out to Kyla Powell at Mercer Company if you're interested in that property.
Jeff, you got any other properties you want to plug?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I've got a building at 8015 Sovereign Row. It's 14,000 feet. We updated it significantly 3 years ago. It's in really good shape. We're going to make a deal. Just bring me someone with the pulse and we'll make it happen.
Retweet.
I think we're asking 9 net, but we'll do a pre-COVID rate in there to start off to get you excited about it. Reach out to Turner Peterson or Ford Price or myself, and we'll get you in there. It is also for sale for $175 a foot. So,
big dog. There you go. Well, before we jump into the economic calendar, we've got a fun new little thing for March that Jeff's spearheading that we want all of our listeners to participate. Jeff, you want to kick off the madness?
Sure, absolutely. We teased it last week, and the podcast, we're going to have a March Madness bracket, and the prize is 2 tickets to the final game in San Antonio. So the way we're going to do it is Isabella is going to send out a notification to all the listeners, and you've got to sign up. Isabella, what app is that on? Is it CBS Sports or ESPN?
It's through ESPN. It's
okay.
Yeah. And then we created a team, and we'll share that. And then we have the rules. We can't forget about the rules for the listeners.
So this is a little bit different than most brackets because we're not going to know who wins the last game, but we're going to hand out tickets to that game. So we're going to call a winner after the Final Four on Saturday night, and whoever has the most points in the bracket at that point will be the winner and get 2 tickets to the big game. And if there's a tie break, if there's a tie after the Final Four, the first tie break will be whoever has the most Final Four teams in their bracket. And then if we still need another tie break, it'll be whomever had the most, the 2 teams tying, of course, whoever had the most teams in the Sweet 16 in their bracket. And then if we need a third tie break, we would go to whoever the most teams in the 32 bracket. So if we go beyond that, then we'll just flip a coin, I guess. But that's the rules, and they're going to be really good seats, and I think it's going to be a great contest.
And then also for the other rules to be applicable in the bracket to actually be able to get these tickets is you have to be following the podcast on whatever your preferred streaming platform is. So whether that be Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or Amazon Music, only has to be one. But because of like podcasting regulations and privacy, I can't go and look up like I can on Instagram or X or YouTube who our followers are. So I am requiring proof of life, and I will need a screenshot of the fact that you are following the podcast on whatever platform you listen to. And then the other 2 are, you have to be subscribed to the YouTube channel. You have to be, which is just at JBMatCap. It's the same handle that Jeremy has on X/Twitter, whatever, and Instagram. So you have to be subscribed and /follow all 3 of those platforms, and then follow the podcast to be applicable. And I do check. And I have Laurel double checking my checking.
Yeah.
Because I want the follower count and the engagement. So anyways, those are the rules to the rules.
There you go.
The rules to the rules. Yeah.
Well, just
good. Cool.
We've got the tickets. You've got to get there. We're not helping you with that. So that's on you. Well, let's transition.
But you said, Will, there's a really nice hotel in San Antonio called the Matador Inn. It's right by y'all's property on Zarzamora.
Yeah. The Matador Inn is well renowned on South Zarzamora Street. You know, we own 99,000 feet on the corner of Humble and Czar, and rave reviews. I would recommend going to, what's that app? I think it's called like it's
well. Here's my donation to the cause. If you're willing to stay the night at the Matador Inn, and from what I've heard, it sounds like you probably have to be able to sleep standing up.
Yeah, ideally. Yes.
If you will stay there and take some selfies, I'll reimburse you. You know, I don't know, what's it like, 50 $100 a night, maybe?
So when's the
or
game?
is it more of an hourly show there?
You can do both, actually. It's got both. Let's see. On the night of April 6th, I need to contact the property for rates. But yeah, call it, it starts at like $29 a day. So,
wow.
Real fine establishment.
What a value.
The travel advisor reviews are, if you want a good laugh, go check it out. And if you want a bomb shelter, we've got our Zarzamora property across the street. We can figure out a cot and bed situation.
You can bring a tenant and make a leasing commission and get reimbursed for staying at the Matador Inn. There we go. So, yeah, fun
awesome
stuff.
All right, jumping into economic calendar, looks like on this week on March 20th, roughly 8:30, we got initial jobless claims coming up. The previous was 220. The forecast for this time up is 222,000. So looks like we're kind of creeping there a little bit, but not much. We've got a report tomorrow on March 18th for housing starts at 8:30. The previous was 1.37 million. The forecasted starts are 1.38 million. Also on the 20th, we've got existing home sales at 10 a.m. that comes out. The previous was 4,080,000. Forecasted is 3,970,000. So we are trending down there, people.
Then Will, how much weight did we gain last week?
Well, I'm cheating here a little bit because I can see the sheet for
Oh,
this.
yeah,
for
you
this
never
month.
have the sheet pulled up.
I never have the sheet.
Oh, no. Oops.
So we're going to go with 29 buh.
Is it 28? Did I read that right?
Yes.
Okay, it's 28. I don't read the
closed
spreadsheet
my eyes.
either. Okay. That's like your consistent.
Yeah.
That's kind of a consistent number that you guess. Okay.
Jeff, how much do you think Doge saved us last week?
I'm feeling like 21, buh.
You're a little light. We're
A little
at,
light, huh?
We're at 26.
Okay, good. Good job, Elon.
Yeah, so we just keep on clipping it away there. So it's a net 2, theoretically.
Mm-hmm.
On to the indices. Looks like the Dow is down about 3%. A lot of carnage last week. Roughly 1,000 points down. S&P 500.
Will, what's your favorite stock these days? Are you a stock picker?
I really like the insurance companies right now.
Oh, that is boring.
I know.
Oh my gosh.
But they're consistent, right? And so if you look at my trading app from Apple, everybody last week was in the red except for AIG. MetLife was in the green. Yeah, AIG and MetLife were in the green out of those groups. So,
yeah.
But
Well, good for you.
yeah, everyone else is kind of sucking it. But S&P 500 was down 227. NASDAQ was down 2.4. Crude came up a little bit, about 47 cents. We're riding at 76 cents a barrel week over week. The 5-year Treasury was more or less flat at 4.09. The 10-year was down a little bit, 1 basis point from 4.32 to 4.31. And SOFR came down a little bit from 4.34 to 4.3. So there's that. Let's pull up these commercial real estate stocks. 1 week performance looks like real estate services. Well, Jeff, do you feel like, because you kind of sit in the real estate services sector primarily most days, do you feel like activity's increasing a little bit? What's kind of the pulse there from being a owner of a brokerage?
I think leasing activity is down.
Okay.
I feel like things are staying on the market a lot longer.
Yeah.
Days on market is definitely up. So yeah, I think activity is slower. I don't hear about the bombshell sales like I have the last couple of years.
Yeah.
Seems pretty quiet.
Yeah. Well, yeah, the stock market's going to say otherwise because looks like real estate services are up 3%, but I 100% agree with you.
Oh, good.
REIT healthcare is trailing a little bit behind at 2.5%, 2.25% increase, excuse me. REIT specialty is up about a 0.83. Guys who are a little bit below, REIT mortgage is up 25 basis points. REIT office is about half that at 12. Going down, trending the wrong direction. REIT diversified is down 14 basis points. REIT diversified is down a full. No, that's real estate diversified overall is down 0.14. REIT diversified is down almost a full percentage point. REIT residential is down 1.14. REIT retail dragging ass a little bit at 1.39. And then industrial's down pretty substantial from our charts, our recordings and data. It's down 3.34. Real estate development, not much better, actually a little bit worse, at 3.37. And then REIT hotel and motels getting smoked. Worst performer out of all of them week over week at 3.94. So people are tightening the belt, it looks like.
All right. Term of the week?
We are indexing off of this. I was on a call with a Harvard MBA individual last week, Jeff. And as we're working through a potential build-to-suit / new lease with him, he was talking about valuations of corporations and taking things public. And he's like, well, we're really kind of indexing off of these data points. And I was like, oh my gosh, what the hell does that mean? So I asked ChatGPT, what does indexing off of mean in finance bro talk? In finance bro jargon.
Did you ask it that verbatim?
Yeah,
okay,
literally.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It says, in finance bro jargon, indexing off of means using a specific benchmark, reference point, or market rate to determine pricing, valuation, or decision making. It's commonly used in investment banking, private equity, and real estate finance. So, which that makes sense. I understand the application. So, yeah. So that was a good one.
What are you indexing off of?
Dude, I'm all over the place right
Cap
now.
rates?
We're indexing off of typically like yield on cost in year 2. Like what can we
Yield on cost year number 2.
Yes.
What's y'all's number you're looking for?
I'd say DFW probably high 8s. Yeah, pending quality of the asset. Now, if it's a total junker, probably need to be in the 9s. But we feel like our capital gets excited high 8s, low 9s. So we are not going to do what we hate about real estate this week. Jeff, what do you got?
Yeah, I tell you, I've thought about it a little bit. I do hate this about real estate, but I just wanted to mention that Lewis Shaw passed away last week or so. I'm sorry, I don't know the exact date. He was the fountainhead of Jackson Shaw, and they built, I read on CoStar, they built 63 million square feet of buildings in his career, which is a crazy number. I got to have lunch with him one time 20 years ago when I was at Robert Lynn, and he's been a great developer in and around Dallas and Austin, all over the country, really. And he was real good personal friends with Mr. Lynn, who I worked for at Robert Lynn, and he was inducted in the Hall of Fame, I believe, in 2003. So he's a significant player in our industry. So
yeah.
And then I started thinking about the Hall of Fame. I went and looked at the roster of the North Texas Realtors Hall of Fame, and what I thought was interesting is that the initial group of people inducted are mainly property builders, developers, maybe a few redevelopers, and then there's a few brokers sprinkled in there, but it's really more a developer Hall of Fame. But now that Dallas is significantly developed, I guess it'll be more of the maybe the redevelopers and the agents themselves.
Yeah.
There are, like I said, there are a few agents in there. So I was just going to see, Will, who on your radar is HOF candidates, for years to come, who you work with? Who's the ones that stick out?
Whoa. From a development standpoint, I worked for him for a while, not on the development side, but Holt was inducted, and that's like the first guy that comes in. So he's already in. From a brokerage standpoint, I just thoroughly, obviously I'm biased because of Jeremy, but I thoroughly enjoy the Robert Lynn team in North Fort Worth. Todd's an exceptional talent. And I hope that one day that they kind of look to him for a tap. I think he kind of spearheaded that group out there. Am I correct, Jeff?
Pretty much, yeah. There was a guy before him, but Todd took it to a much different level. Yeah. Not even a higher level, like many higher levels. So, yeah, I think you're right. Todd should be in there, and I think Mark Miller definitely gets in there, and some of the Mark Miller age guys like John Brewer is probably up there. Of course, I am too biased to a bunch of Robert Lynn guys because I worked over there, but probably Ken Wesson and Trey Fricky, just from an agency standpoint, and
Cannon Schultz.
I'm sure the guys,
probably
Ken Schultz, probably so. And then probably the stream, the guys that own Stream, and I apologize. I can't remember I think it's Mike McVean.
Yes.
Is that right?
Yes, Mike McVean.
And he has a partner, but I don't remember his name.
I don't remember either.
Lee Belland.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm sure those guys are up there, but
Sure.
anyway, it'd be interesting to see who emerges out of that group. But yeah, Louis Shaw, 82 years old. He definitely left his footprint in the industry.
Yes.
So.
Michelle Wheeler, who works with him, is just very limited. I can't claim to that I know her, but whenever I have interacted with her, very hospitable, doors always open if she has the time, and just a really excellent individual. So I think that's just kind of him, Lewis, and her probably embody all the values that they have as a firm. So sorry to hear that. All righty, let's see. Moving on.
Jeff, I don't know if you saw this, but did you see there's been a lot of talk this morning because Trump claims that Biden's pardons for January 6th are void because he used AutoPen. Have you seen this at all?
No.
So
I don't even know what AutoPen is.
It's basically DocuSign.
Okay.
It's just like it's not a physical, you don't have your wet ink signature, right? So like you can't verify that Joe Biden himself signed it. So President Trump claimed without evidence early today that the pardons of the House Select Committee that investigated the January 6, 2021 attacks on the Capitol are invalid because then President Joe Biden didn't use a real pen. And this was his, on his Truth Social platform, this was his comment, tweet, whatever you want to call it. The pardons that Sleepy Joe Biden gave to the Unselect Committee of Political Thugs and many others are hereby declared, in all caps, void, vacant, and of no further force or effect because of the fact that they were done by AutoPen. So, anyways, I just thought that was interesting. He's coming in hot.
Those guys won't leave each other alone, will they?
No, they won't. They will not.
Gotta keep touching it.
Yeah. So, anyways, he also claims that Biden didn't know about the pardons or approve them because it goes back to AutoPen. It's not, you can't absolutely verify that Biden was the one to click that signature himself. So he's claiming that Biden wasn't even aware and that just slipped through the cracks. So,
but we recognize DocuSign as being a legally authorized signature. So
yeah, but doesn't DocuSign track it tracks logins, it does timestamps.
Sure.
It has all of those things, but
I don't even know what AutoPen is.
Yeah, I didn't know about it either. I only thought to me it's only DocuSign. Or people do
I'll tell you what,
Adobe
if I'm getting if I'm getting a pardon, I think I want a notary on that baby.
Yeah. Blue ink too. It needs to be a blue ink, no black pens.
When I'm facing jail time, I think I want to get a notary.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy
around that.
You feel like there would have been attorneys involved that would have been hey, this can't just be all digital. I don't know.
Yeah.
But that was my article. Oh, and then also just that it's the Southwest Airlines to end their free checked bag policy for the first time in its 54-year history. So I don't know who's going to fly Southwest anymore.
Yeah.
Because that was
it sounds like they're turning into Spirit.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't really have much to say on that except for it was oh, that's nice. Get my bag checked for free. But
there are some things that brands they embody, right? And the two things for Southwest that stick out to me are the first one is I didn't like, which is unassigned seating. This is it's a shit show.
Oh
right?
yeah,
and so
it sucks.
I don't know. We're busy all day. I'm not watching my phone to check in, so I make sure I get B12, right?
Yeah, your boarding group.
Yeah, your boarding group. But
and there's nothing worse than when people do the creep on the whole.
Oh yeah.
Check in, and I fly American a lot, and it's group 4, and then there's some guy who's in group 9 who's just hanging around the rim, and you're well, can you get out of the way?
Yeah.
Then you look like the jerk for, oh, actually, I'm B11 and you're B12. And then the guy goes, oh, what's the big deal?
Yeah. I'm always very forward with those things. Like, hey, look, and I like show it. Because sometimes you want to, if I'm in a rush, I'll upgrade. It's like, I just got to get in for whatever reason, get in, get out. But yeah, that's annoying. But then the second thing with Southwest is free bags. I mean, when we went to Disney with all the kids, we purposely took Southwest because we knew it was going to be a total cluster.
Yeah.
Strollers, bags, you going on a long trip back east, like fly Southwest. Yeah, that's
not anymore.
Thumbs down.
Yeah. Yep. It's their brand.
Which is, I guess, this is kind of like a local. This isn't really like for other people that listen elsewhere.
Yeah, but Southwest is, they're international.
Yeah.
So
okay.
You want to go to Cancun, you're used to flying Southwest and you needed to bring all those bags.
I can't fit myself in a backpack. Like, I just can't. I have to have a bag.
That's funny.
I know. Angie, she's a frontier spirit till the day she dies.
Oh, yeah, hard.
She loves it. She can fly $30 anywhere, and she's down for the cause, and she has her expectations aligned for the product that's going to be delivered, so she doesn't like stress.
Yeah,
but she can fit it in a backpack.
She's
and I respect her for that.
She's got that frontier, what do they call it, the Den Club or something like that. I think she's got like.
Oh, does she? I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah. You get like Jeff. She can book a flight for like $28.
It's crazy. Like she'll fly to LA for like under $30.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. But again,
at what cost?
Yeah, it might be some emotional, mental trauma.
I would fly Spirit occasionally to Florida, and I love what they call their first class. They call it the big seat.
Yes.
Wait, I didn't know this. What?
You didn't know this?
No.
Go, Jeff.
Yeah, and I would occasionally treat myself to the big seat.
If you book it early
I just
enough,
thought that was such a funny name.
Oh, wait, that's hilarious.
If you book it early enough, Bella, it's like $15 upgrade. Like if you book your flight like a month out and you're like, damn, like this Southwest flight's like $50. The big seat might be $25. And you can fly in 1A for all in at like $80 in the big seat. Yeah.
Right. Bougie.
But you might get accosted for that extra bag you're bringing on the plane.
Yeah. Gosh, that's funny. I had no clue. The big seat. That's funny.
Trump administration puts 443 federal offices, pulls them off the market. Actually, I had a news article I was going to share. It was about a San Antonio property that was going on the market. Doge, I guess, is kind of going through all the leases, all the real estate owned from general services, and is kind of trimming the fat. But they put a bunch on the market through the general services webpage, and they have since taken them off. But the government has let us know that, let me read this real quick. The General Services Administration pulled down its list of 443 federal properties after overwhelming interest and plans to re-release the list after further evaluation. Musk's Department of Government Efficiency is spearheading efforts to cut federal spending, but has faced significant legal and practical setback. The GSA anticipates reissuing the list after refining its approach, but immediate sales have been halted pending further review and feedback. So, little dispo action from the federal government. Looks like that's in the works in the next, hopefully.
What do you think the general cap rate is on those sales?
I don't know.
Just the worldwide average, you think it's like a 5.5, 6?
I was going to say a 6, but a lot of those lease rates are probably historically very under market because they're in there for so long, and I don't know what the renewals look like.
Yeah, but aren't these are owned? These are owned, so they're going to do lease backs if they keep it at all, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
A lot of them they're just going to probably move out of.
Yeah, Yep, they probably will.
Wait, I feel stupid, but I'm going to ask it. Who's in? Okay, wait. So these.
Who's in those buildings?
Yeah, who's in the buildings?
I don't know.
Well, for example, the Department of Education, they're talking about shutting that down.
Oh.
It's a huge.
And so that building would be sold vacant.
God.
I mean, I'm sure they're not going to sell any assets in DC because it's just too hard to recreate that. That would be stupid.
Yeah.
You know, you can't sell that off, and probably some other significant forts or posts or whatever you want to call that. You know, maybe like San Fran on the West Coast and Dallas, I'm sure like the Fed building in downtown Dallas, are not going to sell that. But, you know, I guess all the post offices and, you know, just general services, you know, like health services buildings, you know, that those may get sold off.
Well, the one in San Antonio that was kind of hotly contested, there's an office building we've pumped a shitload of money into, and then there's also a parking deck, so which is attached to the courthouse. And my San Antonio is freaking out, like, where are we gonna park now? It's like, oh, it's a parking deck. Somebody else will just own it and change out the lever that goes up and down. Yeah. Right? Like the bank account your money goes into is just, it's not a GSA one, it's another one. So, but yeah, I'd probably say these sales are, if they're leasing it back, probably mid to high fives, low six.
Mm-hmm.
But you just wonder, especially in the office sector, if they rip a big building like in Florida that's 100,000 feet, that's leased to, they have Social Security's in there and they're vacating it, like what happens to these things? So
ghost town.
Yeah.
Ghost town for sure.
Does that make
I was just wondering.
Make me sad?
Like when you think about the giant offices, or like whenever I think about all of the real estate that just gets abandoned and then it just sits there. I'm like, that could be like grass for animals.
Oh my god!
And it just really upsets me. Well, no, while I have the mic and it's hot and on, I'm just gonna say, like, let's tear it down and plant some grass, because what the heck? I don't know. It just is so depressing. Like,
hey, Isabella, I have hope for you. You know, in some office buildings, they've turned them into farms where they grow food.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's in Chicago. I read about one that was, they turned it into a farm and do like a grow, not like marijuana, but more like food. Huh. So they can be, they're not totally, they can be repurposed, but yeah, we should tear them down for dog parks.
No, I'm not a fan of dog parks, but I'm definitely thinking like for the wildlife, you know, because they matter. And they're just getting hit by cars all the time. It's literally so, hold on. I'm not going to talk about this anymore, but it just makes me really sad.
You think we could get some deer in downtown Dallas if we tore down the buildings?
Jeff, yes, I do.
Okay.
You know what? You know what I wish we did?
What?
Have you seen in like other like European countries where over the highways they have the grass bridges so animals can cross?
We have those in New Jersey on some of the highways because our deer population is so bad that
we should do that everywhere. I don't know what the cost is for that.
I mean, like in Dallas, I've actually never seen a deer in DFW. I don't see a whitetail.
Yeah. South of 630, between 635 and downtown, no. I can't even.
I'm not even talking about deer though, and y'all might hate me for this. I'm talking about like the raccoons and the possums, and they matter. They matter. They do. They all contribute to the ecosystem, and they're important. Like possums, you know what they eat? They eat ticks. You know how many diseases ticks carry? Like,
lots.
Hello. Like, I love possums. Like,
where's the mic
just
button?
Breaks my heart. Okay, we'll turn it off.
I'm kidding.
Okay.
No, but in terms of like these office buildings, like there's going to be a loser, and
it's the animals.
Sure. Yeah, they're losing right now. But
the reason I asked on the cap rate is like if the cap rate is lower than the borrowing rate, that didn't make sense, right? Like if the cost of funds the Fed pays on their debt.
Yeah.
Isn't there a number there where it doesn't make sense though? Where they're just they end up paying more because the cap rate's not there.
Yeah. No, that's very simple but wise observation. Right.
So
like if they're signing a lease back at 6.5 or 5.75, right? It's
and they're paying interest at 4.7 or whatever the
theoretically
Fed rate is.
Why would you need to lease back when you can just issue yourself some more debt by pushing a button and figuring it out? You got any news, Jeff?
No, I'm good. That's all I got.
Well, Bella, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, woohoo. I'm going to go edit it. Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah, clean this baby up.
I will. I'm going to cut out all the pauses. I'll cut out our pauses.
Okay.
Make it a little bit shorter. Get us under my time limit that I have. I try to stick to.
All righty.
I don't like sign-offs.
All right, y'all have a good week.
Do it. Okay,
All right,
bye.
everybody. Thank you.